Miami a night of party, and I don't really remember what I was saying. You know what I'm saying?
Would you like a reminder?
Yeah, sure.
Play some.
Hey, yo, listen, yo, I love it all. I love it all, man.
I like when you like this, Daddy.
Where you put my bag?
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit.
Text messages are being made public in the sex trafficking case against Sean Diddy Combs.
Now, the Sean Diddy Combs investigation, new surveillance video shows Combs being taken into custody in a Manhattan hotel last week.
Shocking allegations, multiple house raids, and the discovery of hidden tapes. All of this is now tied to the famous American rapper P. Diddy. He is in deep trouble, but he is not the only one. Tapes found in Diddy's house reportedly exposed several other celebrities, and the biggest names to surface so far are none other than Jay-Z and J-Lo. So what exactly is on these tapes involving these three infamous names? And will Diddy drag his partners in crime down with him? Let's find out. Jay-Z in trouble. Even though the footage has just been released, people have been noticing odd behavior, especially of Jay-Z. Jay-Z had apparently distanced himself from Diddy shortly after Homeland Security raided P. Diddy's house this March on allegations of trafficking. One of the first people to call this out was none other than 50 Cent. As we all know, 50 and Diddy are close in the industry, but he was not about to let Jay-Z off the hook. He took to social media and posted a picture of Jay-Z's face on a milk carton with the caption, "Anybody seen Jay? LOL." It was his not so subtle jab at Jay-Z for avoiding Diddy during this whole mess. 50 Cent was not done teasing Jay-Z. In another post, he shared an image of Jay-Z with the caption, "Here's Jay-Z, last spotted waving at Puffy's jet." This was a reference to the rumors that Diddy had fled the country on his private jet after the feds raided his homes. It was the kind of trolling that only 50 Cent could pull off, but it got people talking. Why would Jay-Z suddenly go dark when his longtime associate was in trouble? Rumor has it that Jay-Z might know more than he is letting on, and it is not just speculation anymore. There have been rumors that Jay-Z may have been involved in some of the crazy parties Diddy was notorious for, and so with Diddy now in custody, things are starting to come out. Photos of Jay-Z, Diddy, and Jennifer Lopez taken during some of these gatherings have gone viral, raising even more eyebrows. The timing of these photos surfacing is no coincidence. People are connecting the dots, and now Diddy's legal trouble is pulling Jay-Z into the spotlight in an entirely new way. After authorities raided Diddy's properties earlier this year, they reportedly found more than just the typical contraband. Thousands of bottles of lubricant were discovered along with disturbing tapes. These tapes allegedly show things that no one wanted to see. There was footage of Diddy and potentially other celebrities engaging in highly questionable activities. While it has not been confirmed exactly who appears on these tapes, the fact that Jay-Z is now being linked to the scandal has only increased speculation. While most people are still digesting the seriousness of this situation, there is one person who seems to be enjoying the chaos: 50 Cent. We all know about the long-standing beef between 50 and Diddy, and 50 was quick to take advantage of the moment. Other than trolling Jay-Z, he has also been mocking Diddy. Recently, he posted on social media saying, "Here I am keeping good company with that Drew Barrymore TV, and I don't have 1,000 bottles of lube at the house." Classic 50, always ready to mock his rivals, especially when they are down. 50 Cent has also taken his trolling to the next level. He says he is working on a Netflix documentary about Diddy's legal issues, basically cashing in on his rival's downfall, and he is going to name it Diddy Do It? It is like 50 Cent's having the best time of his year with all this, while Diddy is stuck in jail, pleading not guilty and hoping for a chance at bail. Diddy is in big trouble, we know that, but it seems like he is not going down alone. Rumor is that Diddy is now threatening to expose Jay-Z and other high-profile names if they don't step up to help him out. According to sources, Diddy is using this as his bargaining chip, leveraging the dirt he has on Jay-Z and others in an attempt to get them to support him in his legal battles. If they don't, he is ready to release everything he knows, and apparently it is enough to ruin some serious reputations. And the shocking thing is that instead of keeping quiet or trying to distance himself from the scandal, Diddy is allegedly looking at this as his golden opportunity. He is reportedly threatening Jay-Z directly, demanding that he use his influence to help get Diddy out of the mess he is in. If Jay-Z does not comply, Diddy has made it clear that he is willing to expose everything he has on him. The question now is, what exactly does Diddy have on Jay-Z? Could this really be enough to take down one of the most powerful figures in the music industry? Jay-Z has built an empire over the years, carefully protecting his image along the way, but this situation has the potential to tear it all down. For now, Jay-Z has remained silent, but that silence is only making matters worse. People are wondering why he has not come forward to deny the rumors or clear his name. If Jay-Z is being blackmailed by P. Diddy, what does Jennifer Lopez have to do with all of this? The nightclub shooting. You see, Jennifer Lopez is not just a bystander here. J-Lo and Diddy had a pretty high-profile relationship back in the day. They were Hollywood's power couple from 1999 until they split in 2001. In an old interview, J-Lo explained why she ended things with Diddy, and let's just say, it was not exactly on a good note.
He was larger than life, but at first I didn't like him at all. You know, I didn't. I thought he was like, you know, ick. I didn't like him because, you know, Sean and I were very different that way. You know, I was very like family oriented, and that's how I was raised.
She also revealed that Diddy was not the most faithful partner. According to her, she never caught him cheating, but she just knew. He would tell her he was going out to a club for a couple of hours and then vanish for the rest of the night. She realized she didn't want to be stuck at home wondering where her partner was at 3 a.m. That breakup, however, didn't really sever their ties. In fact, despite their split, they stayed on good terms, even going live on Instagram together during the pandemic. Now, this friendly relationship is what has people talking. Some internet detectives believe J-Lo knew more than she let on about Diddy's shady activities back then, and that she might have been covering for him. And when it comes to covering for him, there is one incident that now everyone knows about, the infamous nightclub shooting in 1999. You have probably heard about this one. Diddy and J-Lo were partying at Club New York when things went south fast. A shooting erupted, and both Diddy and J-Lo were taken into custody. Now, Diddy has always maintained his innocence, claiming neither he nor J-Lo had anything to do with the shooting that night. And J-Lo, for her part, has never publicly spoken against Diddy.
It said an eyewitness along 8th Avenue as your car drove by saw a female hand throwing a gun out of the car.
Ridiculous. I don't even
You're the
want to
only
address
female
it.
in the car. You don't want to talk about it?
Ridiculous.
But according to a new lawsuit filed by Lil Rod, a different evidence has now emerged. He claims Diddy boasted about how he got away with the shooting, implying that he orchestrated the whole thing and walked away scot-free. The lawsuit alleges that J-Lo played a role that night by carrying a gun into the club for Diddy and even passing it to him after an argument broke out. If this is true, then J-Lo did more than just stand by her boyfriend's side. She was actively involved in the incident. Lil Rod's lawsuit is not the only account trying to shed light on what really went down. The victim of the shooting has been vocal about her experience for years, claiming that Diddy was the one who pulled the trigger. She says she clearly saw him with the gun, and even though she was shot in the face, her testimony has been ignored for over 2 decades. So what exactly happened that night? Well, on December 27, 1999, Diddy, J-Lo, and his crew were out celebrating the upcoming release of Shine's album at Club New York. Things were going smoothly until Diddy accidentally bumped into a club patron, knocking a drink out of his hand. What followed was a shove, some harsh words, and a stack of cash being thrown in Diddy's face. It was something that was clearly taken as a sign of disrespect. Then chaos erupted, gunshots rang out, and 3 innocent bystanders were caught in the crossfire, including a woman who was shot in the face. The club turned into a scene of horror. Police quickly responded, and Diddy and J-Lo were arrested after a gun was found in their vehicle as they tried to leave the scene. Both were charged with felony gun possession, and the gun was later identified as stolen. But of course, Diddy was not going down easily. His chauffeur testified that Diddy offered him $50,000 and a diamond ring to take the fall for the gun. Despite all the drama, Diddy was acquitted of all charges in 2001, while his protege, Shine, was not so lucky. Shine ended up being convicted and sentenced to prison. And as for J-Lo, she walked away from the incident without a scratch on her reputation. But now Diddy's former producer Lil Rhodes has come up with proof of her involvement. But that's not the only allegation that he has made against P. Diddy and J. Lo. He has filed a complete lawsuit. What else Lil Rhodes has exposed about P. Diddy? The new lawsuit. You see, Rodney Jones is a former music producer who worked closely with Diddy on his latest album. He came forward with some pretty explosive allegations against the music mogul. Jones was already in a lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of harassment and trafficking. But in February, he submitted new court documents, including an 18-page declaration. In this declaration, Jones made it crystal clear that he was ready to testify under oath. Now he wants to back up everything he is saying with evidence and is determined to prove that his claims are not just wild stories. His credibility has been under attack, with some of the individuals named in his lawsuit fighting back, but Jones seems unfazed and fully prepared to prove that he's telling the truth. So what exactly is he accusing Diddy of? Well, according to Jones, he has hundreds of hours of video footage of Diddy and his inner circle that he was required to film as part of his job. The claim was that Diddy wanted everything documented, allegedly to avoid repeating himself. But this footage supposedly shows a lot more than just business meetings or music production. Jones claimed he witnessed a variety of criminal activities, and it gets pretty shocking. Jones said that during his time working with Diddy, he saw all kinds of illegal substances being used and distributed, including cocaine, ecstasy, marijuana, and even more dangerous drugs like GHB and ketamine. Jones also alleged that he saw Diddy hand out spiked alcoholic drinks to minors and prostitutes at various locations, from Diddy's homes in California and New York to places like the Virgin Islands in Florida. One particularly disturbing claim Jones made involves Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Coram. According to Jones, Coram instructed staff members to retrieve drugs for Diddy on numerous occasions, and if that was not enough, Jones also recalled a troubling incident that allegedly took place on a yacht chartered by Diddy, where Diddy's son, Christian King Combs, was involved in a situation with a stewardess. Jones said that while they were aboard the yacht, he witnessed Christian give a spiked drink to the stewardess and then attempt to force her into inappropriate activities without her consent. The disturbing behavior reportedly started while Jones was recording Christian's auto-tune rapping in a makeshift studio on the yacht. Jones also shared some strange experiences that he had while working with Diddy. One involved the two of them working out on treadmills while watching sermons by Bishop T.D. Jakes. At first, Jones thought Diddy was simply into the spiritual message, but he soon realized Diddy was more interested in studying the way Jake delivered the sermon. According to Jones, Diddy was planning to use his connection with Bishop Jakes to soften the blow of a pending lawsuit from Cassie Ventura, who later accused Diddy of trafficking and other horrible acts. The lawsuit, by the way, was settled the day after it was filed, and if you thought that was all, Jones also described what he called a writer's camp at Chalice Recording Studios, where Diddy had allegedly turned the parking lot into a full-on party scene, complete with a bar, massage spa, and hookah. He claimed that anyone working on Diddy's Love album had to take tequila shots laced with drugs, and if they refused, they were seen as suspicious. Jones painted a picture of Diddy as a man who knew how to exert control over everyone around him. He even claimed that Diddy's house was rigged with hidden cameras and audio devices, something he discovered while picking up a food delivery. He saw multiple flat-screen monitors in the security office showing surveillance footage from around the house. According to Jones, Diddy offered him all sorts of things to stay involved in his operation, from a Grammy to a $20 million property in Miami, but Jones eventually broke away and is now exposing it all. And now Diddy's legal team is trying to have Jones's lawsuit dismissed. But we know that's not going to happen because this is not the first person who has thrown allegations his way. So what other allegations have been made against P. Diddy? All the allegations. In 2023, R&B singer Cassie Ventura, who dated Diddy for over a decade, dropped some serious accusations. She claimed that during their relationship, Diddy was involved in trafficking, assault, and much worse. While the details of Cassie's case never went public since it was settled almost immediately, the damage was done. It didn't help Diddy's reputation at all, especially with the case being part of New York's Adult Survivors Act, but Cassie was not the last to come forward. Shortly after, in November 2023, Joey Dickerson Neal filed a shocking lawsuit. She accused Diddy of drugging and sexually assaulting her back in 1991. What's worse is that she claimed the entire incident was recorded without her consent and even shown to others, and if that was not bad enough, 3 more women came forward by the end of 2023, all accusing Diddy of sexual abuse. Some of these women were teenagers at the time of the alleged incidents. Despite Diddy's legal team continuously denying all the claims, it is hard to ignore the sheer number of accusations piling up against him. One particularly disturbing story came from an anonymous woman who claimed Diddy orchestrated a human trafficking scheme to bring her from Michigan to New York. She says she was drugged and assaulted, making her another victim in a long line of horrifying stories. Adding even more drama to the situation, local TV talk show host Roger Mills filed a lawsuit as well. He accused Diddy's crew of assaulting him and trashing his equipment after he asked about Diddy's rumored involvement in the death of Notorious Big Mills, even claimed that he was held against his will during the incident. Though the jury sided with Diddy in this case, it only added to his ever-growing list of accusations. These legal troubles are not anything new for Diddy. He has been dealing with controversy since the 90s, from threatening a photographer with a gun to assaulting a record executive. Diddy's early scandals have been following him around like a shadow throughout his entire career. And then this year, it finally caught up to him. Homeland Security raided his house twice this year and has put him into custody. So what went down? Raids this year. Homeland Security recently raided Diddy's Los Angeles mansion and Miami beach house in March this year, and things have only gotten worse from there. The investigation into Diddy's involvement in human trafficking is no joke, and it has now spread across multiple law enforcement agencies. Then on September 16th, he was arrested yet again, this time facing charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. But let's rewind to March, when this all really started during the first raid. The most disturbing and shocking thing was what they found in his house. They found 1,000 bottles of lubricant. Yes, 1,000. It sounds ridiculous, and as soon as that news broke, people could not stop talking about it. Even celebrities like Whoopi Goldberg were joking about it on The View, saying that having lube is not illegal, and sure it is not. But 1,000 bottles, that's not normal by any standard, and it raises serious questions about what was really happening at these so-called parties Diddy was hosting. The disturbing thing here is the charges against Diddy that involve claims that he was organizing these freak-off events, reportedly involving underage individuals and non-consensual acts. That's where the 1,000 bottles of lubricant stop being funny and start becoming a dark symbol of what was really going on behind closed doors. Diddy has dodged legal bullets in the past, but this time, the accusations are much worse. His silence and continued denial don't erase the fact that more and more evidence is surfacing. This discovery has painted him as someone who exploited and harmed others. Instead of taking responsibility, Diddy seems to be digging himself deeper into a scandal that could very well ruin him for good. And frankly, it is hard to feel any sympathy for someone facing these kinds of charges. The defense. Now that Diddy has finally been arrested, his legal team is pulling out all the stops to try and get him out on bail. They have offered up a massive $50 million bail package, trying to show the court that Diddy is ready to comply with any conditions they set. But this time, the court is not so easily convinced. First off, his defense is pushing the narrative that Diddy has been nothing but cooperative these last 6 months. They are claiming he has been in constant communication with the government, letting them know where he has been, and even offered to turn himself in voluntarily. But instead of taking him up on the offer, they say the government made a big scene with a dramatic arrest, which they argue was not necessary. Now let's talk about the bail package. Diddy is offering a $50 million bond, co-signed by his family, including his mom, sister, the mother of his eldest daughter, and his 3 adult sons. That's no small sum. To secure this, he is putting up the equity from his Miami mansion, valued at $48 million. In fact, he even paid off the last $8 million of the mortgage just to make sure he could use the house as collateral. No doubt Diddy came prepared for this battle. On top of that, they are offering the equity in his mom's house in Miami as additional collateral. Basically, they are doing everything possible to show that Diddy is not going anywhere if released on bail. They are also suggesting his travel be limited to just 2 areas, the southern districts of Florida and New York. To make their case even stronger, Diddy has already handed over his passport and his family's passports too. They are trying to show the court he is not a flight risk. And in a rather dramatic gesture, they have announced he is even planning to sell off his private planes, as if to say, look, I am not running away. Diddy's legal team is also offering up house arrest with a GPS ankle monitor to keep tabs on him. They are painting the picture of someone who is more than willing to play by the rules and stay under strict supervision. In the letter that they have submitted to the court, they have made sure to remind everyone that Diddy is not just a man facing serious charges and that he is also someone who has done good for the community. They have talked about his philanthropic work in the letter, like his involvement with the Boys and Girls Club of America, the charter school he helped open in New York, and his fundraising efforts for PPE during the pandemic. It is clear they are trying to highlight his charitable side in hopes the court will see him as more than just the guy facing these harsh allegations. But the prosecution is not having any of it. They have submitted their own letter to the judge, and they are absolutely firm in their belief that Diddy should remain behind bars with no chance of bail. They are not buying the cooperative narrative Diddy's team is pushing. According to the prosecution, Diddy is a danger to the community and a major flight risk. They argue that if released, Diddy would pose a threat and could easily obstruct justice. The prosecution also hit Diddy with the accusation of witness tampering. They claim that after the lawsuit in November 2023, Diddy and his team started reaching out to potential victims and witnesses. They allege that Diddy tried to plant false narratives in an attempt to manipulate those who could testify against him. The prosecution even mentioned a specific incident just days after Cassandra Ventura's lawsuit, where Diddy allegedly made multiple phone calls to another victim. They said Diddy used someone else's phone to avoid being traced and tried to convince the victim that she had willingly participated in the abuse. According to the prosecution, Diddy even promised her that she would be taken care of if she backed him up. The prosecution also claimed in the letter that even after the criminal investigation started, Diddy continued to reach out to witnesses, including people who had received grand jury subpoenas. They argue this is a blatant attempt to obstruct justice, and putting Diddy on house arrest with an ankle monitor won't prevent him from continuing these tactics from the comfort of his own home. With all these accusations and the growing pile of evidence, it seems more and more likely that Diddy won't be getting bail. The charges against him are serious, and the prosecution is making it clear they have no intention of letting him off easily. Diddy may have pulled out all the stops, but it is looking like the court is not swayed by his efforts. What do you think? Is Diddy going to get away with his crimes this time as well? Tell us your opinions in the comments below. If you want more updates on this drama, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.